Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Jelunder Clark here at Wellness Medicine, where we are paving a pathway in medicine to build bridges to optimal health and wellness. We have got a great segment for you today. We're going to be featuring some of the information that I obtained over the weekend at Shula's. Thank you very much. With one of the new companies that's on the scene with True Health. Going to give you an updated reference to that. We will also be talking, of course, about DJ's 5K. And then I'm going to have a special segment in reference to the event that I attended this weekend with Dr. Game. So we are so excited about all that we have to offer you. And we are moving forward to have better health. Why do we want better health? We want better health to have a better life, to have what? A better world. You hang on. We'll be right back just for you. So I have returned. Once again, this is Dr. Jelunder Clark speaking here at Wellness Medicine, where we are paving the pathway of medicine to build bridges to optimal health and wellness. Of course, always, if you want to know more about what we do, please visit us at wellmed.us. That is WELLMED.us to find out more about what's happening here at Wellness Medicine. Now, it's been an extremely awesome week, and I had the opportunity this past Saturday to attend a seminar that was hosted by a new company on the scene called True Health. At that event, Dr. Fillingrane, who is from Jackson, Mississippi, and I definitely want to get a shout out and say, hi, how are you? Because Dr. Fillingrane, believe it or not, is actually from my hometown. Not only is he from Jackson, Mississippi, but he's also from Hattiesburg, which is truly a hometown, definitely a hometown for me. What was very interesting about that whole segment and meeting him this weekend, I actually found that we have some deeper roots. His father was actually my grandfather's personnel person when he worked for a plant that was in Hattiesburg. I don't mind telling you, yes, I come from beginnings, but humble beginnings let you know how to have great endings. So it was very, very interesting to talk with him. And I actually got a chance to talk with my mother and my grandmother, who actually remembered him as well. So guess what? Now on the scene, he's also going to be working on some family members of mine in Jackson, Mississippi. So welcome aboard, Dr. Fillingham. What I really enjoyed about his presentation this past week was learning so much about biomarkers and our biomarker testing. Let me tell you how this goes. Continuing medical education is for all of us, and definitely as practitioners and in the medical field, you have to do what we call your due diligence to continue to stay up on the latest information. So guess what? On Saturdays, evenings, and sometimes some really great conferences that I've been talking about previously, that's where I had that opportunity to learn more. Well, this past weekend was just really an eye opener for me. Even though I've known about biomarkers, it's always great to hear more and hear someone deliver it from a different perspective. And he just really helped me put it all together once again. It even adds a little more of a twist on it. And of course, to get me all fired up and passionate as usual about this wonderful testing opportunity that we have here and how we're really able to help be able to prevent cardiac disease by a lot of the things that we're actually testing. Going down his list of things that were important, he really looked at and correlated the testing techniques as it relates to different disease processes that we really need to pay attention to. Like, for instance, of course, diabetes. We've got a wonderful diabetic panel. Depression, believe it or not, can actually be seen at some of the biomarker testing that we do. Looking, of course, at lipid panels, and we do the advanced ones, not just your regular ones, because, of course, in the literature, what we found, and also with our studies, we found just doing your regular lipid panel does not give you insight to what we call lipoprotein particles. So, looking at the LDL particle number is even more significant than just looking at the LDL total number in itself. So putting all that information together was just huge and phenomenal to be able to utilize that to be able to help get a better diagnosis and definitely a better treatment plan. Also, looking at the fact of hypertension and how we want to correlate that with our treatment plan, looking again at being able to look at the total fat content of what patients are looking at and what they're actually working with. Just really, really great information. We also looked at the fact of how endocrinology, different endocrine disorders can actually impact cardiovascular health, as well as being able to understand how exercising works on that. And then, of course, on the top of the totem pole, which we've also introduced the concept about, is genetic expression, or those what? Those genes. So just really, really great, phenomenal information. Tying all that we're doing in our testing processes back to how we can utilize that to help us be able to treat our disease process. One of the beautiful things I liked about in his teaching, he not only was able to give us more insight and windows on how to use these tests with that, but also looked at being able to combine that with the treatment protocols and what to be looking for throughout the weeks that you are able to do testing. There is a particular test that we thought we were only obligated to do just every 3 months, so we would be able to do it. Well, actually found out we could get better control with our patients if we're able to do these testings more on a regular basis until we're able to get the patient to the goal. So that was really exciting for me, especially for diabetic patients. I want to really commend Dr. Fillingham because basically his states that in his practice, most of his patients definitely have a hemoglobin A1C that's definitely under 6. And not only that, he hardly ever has, and I think I could probably quote him on saying this, so if not, Dr. Fillingham, you can correct me, but none of his patients over the years have developed diabetic peripheral neuropathy. That's huge. What a game changer. And he really attributes his game changing to this advanced lipid testing and also the other special biomarker testing that we've been doing all along. Just really being able to tweak this here and tweak that there will also be able to help us tweak our patients so that we can have those great outcomes as well. So I'm extremely excited about that. Since I am talking about advanced lipid testing, I do want to actually bring up a point. We've had some testing information brought to us before by a company called Health Diagnostic Laboratories. Well, just recently found out that Health Diagnostic Laboratories has been bought out by a laboratory called True Health. I actually want to congratulate True Health on being able to obtain what I consider to be one of the final laboratories I've been able to work with to help me with my patient and also my patient database, as well as being able to have information to be able to give and utilize for my patients to help them be able to get to goal. So in this, I didn't know that True Health had a very, very similar approach to wanting to be able to help patients, and I felt they had very kindred spirits in being able to carve out their mark or their niche within the arena of doing biomarker testing. So again, I really want to congratulate that successful merger, venture, to be able to still continue to bring this type of wonderful testing to not only just my patients, but to patients all over as well. So, in saying that, you'll be hearing a little bit more about True Health in the future, and also Dr. Fillingham. What we're going to do in our next segment, I'm going to be bringing some information from him directly that's going to be talking about exercising and how that really does affect us and our health and what's so important about doing it and what are our excuses about not doing it and definitely what we will gain about doing it. That's going to be real helpful, of course, because what are we all getting ready for? We're getting ready for what? DJ's 5K. Everybody should all be excited, but most of all, DJ, I definitely know you're excited. Thank you for your update recently with Jake, and hopefully we'll get a chance to get that recorded and be able to put on to let people know you are doing great. I know work is a little bit challenging for you, but guess what? Thank the Lord. What? You're back at work. It was an honor and a pleasure to be able to work with you, to be able to see that light bulb come on, and not only that light bulb come on, but to see you actually not just running, but racing toward the light of life, to be able to be that survivor that you really are, not just for yourself, but also to be able to motivate others in that surviving mode as well. So we are extremely excited about DJ's 5K coming up, and actually do have some sponsors. We will have some t-shirts as well. So just again, stay tuned. Please, if you want to know more information, and definitely if you want to sign up or be able to give to the American Heart Association, you can do that. We do have an official team that is logged in, and you can access through our site, which is wellmed.us. Again, WELLMED.us. So again, that's going to be held at Marietta Square, October 24th. Sign-ups will start at 8 o'clock, race will start at 9, and the one who finishes first is the one that will win the prize. But again, if we all just cross the finish line, then guess what? We're all winners. We're all winners just because we're here, we're exercising, we're doing something, and most of all, DJ, we're coming out to support you. It has just been a wonderful pleasure to be able to bring this type of information to my patients. So once again, the next thing in the next segment, with Dr. Fillingrand is actually going to be talking a little bit more about that exercise opportunity. What a wonderful, wonderful way to be able to begin our new relationship with True Health, and not only that, to begin our relationship with DJ and extend that into being able to help him have a better quality of life. Because once again, here at Wellness Medicine, that's what we do. We pave the pathway of medicine to build bridges to optimal health and wellness. What we're interested in is looking for people who want optimal and vibrant health. People just like you. Again, you want to find out more about what we do? Please go to our website, wellmed.us, WELLMED.us, to be able to find out more about and more information about all the great things that we're doing. Hang on a second. We'll be right back in just a minute to be able to look at the information that Dr. Fillingrand from Jackson, Mississippi will be giving us in reference to what we can do to be able to better our health from a cardiovascular standpoint. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back. Once again, I'm Dr. Jelunder Clark here at Wellness Medicine, where we are paving the pathway of medicine to build bridges to your optimal health and wellness. So next, as I promised, in this segment, we're actually going to be hearing some specific information that was given to me by Dr. Fillingrand from this past weekend. And again, I am so excited to be able to bring this type of information to you. I think it's going to be just absolutely wonderful. So eventually we're going to be able to open up and let you be able to tell us what you think. Because I think it's so great. I like to know what it is you're thinking too as well. So hang on. Here we go. Once again, here it is from Dr. Fillingrand.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Straight to the Heart. I'm Russ Robinson, your host, joined today by Dr. Sam Fillingrand, who is a cardiovascular risk reduction specialist out of Jackson, Mississippi. And Dr. Sam, a part of what you do and a part of beating this disease is exercise. And we've kind of toyed around a little bit with exercise. We've mentioned it some. On today's show, we're going to actually get into what exercise they need to be doing, how long they need to be doing it, and why they may not be doing it.
Russ, this is a very important subject because many people are exercising across the country thinking that they're doing themselves some cardiovascular good, and in actuality what you're doing may not be working at all. If you were doing biomarker testing, you could actually see for yourself if it was working or if it wasn't. But so many patients have not received this biomarker testing. So I'm hoping that our patients that have been viewing this show for this long have figured out that I need to have this test and I need to have it regularly. That way I can stay on top of this and not let this disease get me in trouble.
And we're going to see on today's show how, you could, it's as simple as just walking on a treadmill. And I know you like the fact that she had a Saints jersey on, or he had a Saints jersey on. Or it could be pushing the legs and working the leg muscles. And it could be indoors, it could be outdoors, but you got to exercise.
Might even be throwing a few of those little hoops But, keeping some variety in how you do this, it makes it interesting. Keeping your speed up to where your heart rate gets up to that 70% mark. We're going to talk about how long you have to do this, 40 minutes or 50 minutes, and why. And then how you can actually see when you're to go, because once you can see it on those biomarkers, there's a safety that goes along with that, because people that have no inflammation in their blood vessels, Russ, they don't have cardiovascular issues. Even if your cholesterol is not perfect, if you have no inflammation, it's very hard for that cholesterol to do as much damage. But the real ideal way is to get the inflammation under control, get your cholesterol under control, get your diabetes under control, and things start to smooth out. Get your sleep in order, make sure you haven't got some of those other disease states in play. We're going to talk about all of that on the next part of the show.
Yeah, when it's not just about diet, and it's not just about medicine. You got to have all three of these combined working together. And today we're going to be talking about exercise. And I think one of the biggest things, and I want to encourage people to really take note of this today, is some of the excuses that people use not to exercise, or what they think about when they miss a day or two. We're going to be talking about that, because what it does is set you way back.
Let's talk about cardiovascular fitness, because I think it's important that we kind of get some specific things that patients need to know.
Okay.
What do you have to do to make this exercise work? Now, the first part, when we talk about exercise that's cardiovascular, you've got to get that exercise up to the 70% level, and you have to maintain it at that level. If you have maybe an exercise where you're kind of smelling the roses the whole way, and you're not walking very fast, and maybe you're talking to a friend, but you're more interested in the conversation than the walk, you may actually find you're not getting up to the heart rate you need. And so that 70% factor is a very important factor. If you're a young person, that number may be a heart rate of about 125. As you get older, that number will come down somewhat. If you're on a drug category called beta blockers, it may be as low as 90. But ask your physician where your 70% mark is, and that would be the place you target every day. Russ, they've got special watches for these types of things.
I was going to ask you, I mean, just walking, I wouldn't know what the heart rate is. Where can you get these things?
Most sporting goods stores will have these special watches you can put on, and it will actually tell you what your heart rate is doing. They even have fancy ones that can tell you how far you've gone, and they can basically keep up with your day-to-day. But you don't have to get one that fancy. The main thing you need to know is what that heart rate is getting to, and making sure you're achieving it every single day. Now, the second thing, you want to make sure you get at least 40 minutes. And that 40 minutes is only going to be good for about 6 months. After 6 months, once you get very well conditioned, you're going to have to do a little better than that 40 minutes. You're going to have to go up to about 50 minutes.
That is me.
Because it takes
50 minutes now.
Takes longer to get your heart rate up. Now, some people try to challenge that, and you hear these little programs that say, anything you do will help. And to be honest, I don't agree with that. If you're wanting cardiovascular fitness, if your target is to remove inflammation, you're going to have to get up to at least that 40 to 50 minute mark every day. Anything less than that is only going to help your muscle tone. Sometimes I have to tell my patients that insist on doing less. They said, you'll be laying in that casket and your muscles will be in great shape, but the rest of you is not going to be too good. And so that's not our goal here.
Well, you have a lot of people that have a lot of excuses and a lot of things that could take them away from this exercise, and I think we're going to see some of them right here.
That's exactly right. Now, there's some pitfalls in exercise, and we've got to get our patients on board with these pitfalls. Probably the biggest one is the time of day that you choose to do the exercise. I think a lot of people make the mistake of trying to wait till later in the day because they're not morning people, and just getting up a little early is hard on them. And so they put it off till when they get back from work to do, and then someone calls them up and has something that they need help with, and then you feel obligated. But the only thing you can do to help them out with is to give them your exercise time. Had you done your exercise before you got to work, nobody could take it away from you. So my encouragement is to do it in the morning before you go do your day work routine.
This walking the dog thing isn't going to work real well either.
That's correct. When you're walking your pet, quite commonly the pet will get sidetracked doing some business this place or that place, or maybe they even get involved with another pet, and before you know it, you've got to stop what you're doing to take care of an animal situation. And when you do that, you're allowing your heart rate to go down. And so we don't want to let the pet become part of your exercise routine unless you've got an extremely unusual pet that you can count on not causing you to stop.
I want to meet that pet, but look, do you have to start over if your dog stops you? and you've been out for, say, 25 minutes and he stops you, you got to start that over again?
Exactly. That starts your 40 to 50 minutes all over, and that certainly complicates things significantly. Now remember that after your 6 months is up, you've got to go up to that 50 minutes. But after you get to that 50 minutes, Russ, you really don't ever have to go higher than 50 minutes. So some patients would think, well, gosh, now you won't, that 60 minutes, how much are you going to ask for now? It's not going to be more than 50. And lastly, carbohydrate loading.
Oh, we see carbohydrate loading a lot when people are trying to get around this thing.
Yes, exactly right. If you're thinking about carb loading, trying to increase the maybe speed or the time or the intensity of your workout, think again, because it's the carb loading that gets your liver to secreting the bad inflammation. You don't want that 4-day episode of bad inflammation. It's too big a price tag to pay. And so if you're wanting some type of energy form through there, it would be a protein stance before you did your exercise, not carbs. Now, we remember that central obesity pattern, and when a person overeats carbs, the first thing that happens is that liver starts manufacturing or synthesizing bad fats for about 4 days. That fat's going to go inside your belly. It's going to be intra-abdominally absorbed first. After the intra-abdominal area is absorbed, it goes to the thighs and the proximal arms. And if it saturates those areas, it goes even distally. So if you want to get rid of that, exercise is a great way of actually removing some of the central obesity and using it as a form of energy. Remember that these inflammatory factors sit in these vessel walls, and nothing is going to remove them better than exercise. But when you allow them to sit there for a day here and a day there, they can do a lot of damage quickly. So don't make that mistake of saying, I can skip the day because I'm going on a trip to Texas. I can skip the day because I'm going on a cruise.
Right.
And skip the day because we're having a birthday party. There's always excuses of various days. You always have to plan around these things. You can exercise before the birthday party. You can actually find the exercise room on the cruise ship. You can, believe it or not, find plenty of places to walk in Texas or any other state that you visit. And so don't make that mistake.
Now, this is an interesting graph because medicine, while it's important, is a smaller piece than what exercise is here. And exercise is something that we can do on our own.
That's exactly right. About 80% of this inflammation is going to be removed from exercise, and only the smaller portion, approximately 20%, from medication. Medication could probably be used to get up to 40% if it had to, but that would still be leaving way too much to sit around and cause damage. So we don't want to let that happen. Russ, this is the old line in the office that I keep going over and over. Excuses will not get you out of the fire. You know, you're going to have very legitimately sounding excuses, and maybe your mother would buy them, and maybe your grandmother would really buy them, but me as your physician, I don't buy them. If this is a non-optional item, this is a non-optional item. You know, if I asked you to take a weekend off from breathing, Russ, you would say,
Probably can't work that out for me.
that's not optional, is it? And I say, maybe let's just don't eat for the next 30 days.
That's definitely out.
There you go. And so some things in life just aren't optional, and exercise is in that category. And you have to put it in your mindset and say, you know, I really have to quit making these excuses and get down to business. Those of you who are further along in the disease even have to be better at this. Russ, this is a lot to do about a very important subject. I hope we've made it clear. There's many forms of exercise. There's many ways of doing things. But if we're going to get to this business of beating cardiovascular disease, we all have to be good at it, whether you're young or whether you're old. You know, as you get old and you exercise more, your joints begin to work better. They produce more synovial fluid. There's less aches and pains. So some of you say, I don't do it because my knee hurts too bad. Well, your knee might not hurt so bad if you actually just did a little bit more. And some say, my back hurts when I do this. Well, find a form of exercise that doesn't use your back. Some of my patients don't have a leg because they've had an amputation for whatever reason. Find a way to do it with your upper body. But whatever you do, excuses will not get you out of that fire.
Well, you've seen it today here on Straight to the Heart that you cannot cut out exercise, and there's no good excuse when it comes to exercise. I know you got me exercising. I miss it when I don't. So get out there and exercise those 40 or 50 minutes. Okay. Secondly, this person liked the show that we did on apps and smartphones and how it all comes together in cardiovascular disease, but They said they cannot find information about their favorite restaurant on an app or anywhere. What do they need to do?
Well, Russ, if it's a special place to you, I would certainly consider calling up the manager or calling up the owner, or even going in and asking for the nutritional information. And most restaurants can provide you that information. And of course, if that particular restaurant is not forthcoming with that information, that could be a problem, because it's very important that you, as a cardiovascular patient, don't put anything in your body that you can't actually account for how many carbs are in that product and what it can potentially do to you. Doing this by the seat of your pants is not a smart thing. So if that restaurant could not provide you the nutritional information, I would suggest you not eat there until what time they can give you that same information that's needed.
And you know what you say all the time when you walk past someone in a restaurant, you want to ask them how many carbs they've taken in. And if they know that information because they've either looked it up, it's on an app, or they've asked the owner, they could tell you, hey, Dr. Sam, I've got X amount of carbs here and I'm eating well.
Yes, my patients know that if I ever see them at a restaurant, when I ask them how many carbs in their meal, I expect them to look in my eyes and give me an answer. I don't want them to look at their plate, because if they have to look at the plate, that means they didn't already think through the process.
Wow, well, wasn't that great information? So here we go. Now we know what to do. Now we know how to do it, and then we also know what not to do. So definitely, none of us want to be in those exercise pitfalls by any means whatsoever. Because let me tell you, the personality that Dr. Billingham has, you just don't want to go there. Just be on the good side, trust me. But the good side is the great side because it's going to better your health. Listen, please go to our website and sign up for this wonderful walk with the American Heart Association. You reach our website at wellmed.us, again, WELLMED.us, and we are so excited about all the great things that we have coming on board. So we will keep you posted and keep you tuned in to what's the latest and the greatest out there to be able to help you better your health. Because what we want better health, what for a better you, and why? For a better world. Once again, this is Dr. Jelunder Clark speaking. We're at Wellness Medicine, where we are paving the pathway in medicine to build bridges to your optimal health and wellness.